Hey everybody, it's Dave from Outdoors Dave Brent. It's finally time to boil the sap. I've got around 50 or 60 liters of sap, which really isn't that much considering you need 40 liters to make 1 liter of syrup, but it's still gonna be fun. I've got a wood stove, a little sort of backyard wood stove or outdoor fire pit I've created just with some random materials. I've got this giant wok I'm gonna be trying to use. It has a larger surface area, so I think the sap will boil off a little faster than in a big huge pot. So I'm excited to try it. I'll be outside all day, cleaning the yard up and using that material too to feed the fire. So anyways, I'll give you updates along the way, and I think it's gonna take a while to get 1 liter of syrup, but it'll be fun. Okay, finally got the heat up a little bit here. It took a while. Starting to see some bubbles inside the wok. First time doing it this way, so I'm curious to see how this is all going to work out. One of my favorite things about spring is cleaning up the yard, and I've been filling the garage up all winter with random things that didn't make it to the dump. I've been saving these old pieces from a bunk bed for this. Nice dry pine. This is going to work great. Clean up my garage and make some maple syrup. All right, finally got a full boil going. This is awesome. This wok's gonna work great. As you're going through the boiling process, you'll notice your liquid starts to get more brown, and that is always a nice sign. Don't be deceived though, it will be brown quite early in the process, and you'll have a long way to go still. Well, disaster has struck. The rocks I chose to use weren't fireproof, and the wok wasn't level, so we tried to fix it, and things got worse from there. The good news is that the stuff I've been boiling is looking pretty good, so I'm just letting that cool down. I'm going to store that in another pot until tomorrow when I get back to it again. I have the first unfinished batch from outside. The stove broke, everything fell to pieces on me today. I'm gonna finish this batch inside. I should probably get about 1 liter from what I've got here currently. So this is still gonna take a while, and you do wanna probably not boil too much inside because all that condensation is gonna go all around your kitchen and drip everywhere, and it'll be sticky. So it's best to have less inside when you're finishing, I find. It's just starting to get to boiling temperature here, and as you can see, all that sticky steam is going to go everywhere, so it's part of the reason I don't like to do this inside, but I'm pretty determined to finish this batch tonight. It's just one of those sacrifices my kitchen will have to take. Probably lost a couple liters of liquid. Still a ways to go though before it's completely done. Hey everybody, it's day 2 of boiling. Yesterday went well for the first part until my stove broke. Some pieces were breaking and whatnot, so the wok worked wonderfully. I have some sap that's almost ready to be finished. But today I'm gonna go back to how I used to do it. This is a way that anyone can do it. If you wanna go buy a big turkey boiler, Walmart or something like that, you can use these. I'll be using this huge pot today on this propane stove, and yesterday I had all these filled, so I've only got this one container left to go today, so I figure that's around 20 liters. I did forget to mention that I had some in here also, so I boiled off that, and this is what I have left from yesterday. There. So that's going to be finished off today with whatever I end up having from the other sap there. So it should be finished today, and it's going to turn out great. I'm just gonna pour it all in here, and I'll put the lid on, and I'll get it to a boil, and I'll take the lid off and just let it go. Take two. So I've got this propane burner I'm gonna be using to boil today because my homemade wood or boiling fireplace didn't work. I just used a buddy's old pot that has a valve on it. The sap was pouring out everywhere, so I'm going back to the wok on the propane. It should work. Well, here we go. I hope this works. I did want to mention that using propane isn't really your most financially efficient way of doing this, but I did go to Costco, and if you go there you can get this tank filled for around just over $10. So I will not use a propane burner to make maple syrup unless I'm able to get that cheap propane from Costco or that type of thing. If you've got somewhere near you like that, it can be quite expensive. Around here it actually costs around $35 to do an exchange right now, so there's zero chance I'm gonna do that. If I had have just used propane for what I boiled yesterday plus today, I would have gone through at least 2 tanks, and $70 for 2 liters of maple syrup isn't really worth it, even though it is a hobby. I'll tell you what, one thing's for sure, the wood heats up this sap way faster than this is. It's been going for 15 minutes and it's not even boiling yet. Once it gets to a nice boil, it should be good. But it's way slower. And we got bubbles. I had to play with the air valve on it for a bit. I think I got it to the right side now. I had too much air being mixed with the propane. So if you see here, there's that little gap there. Got it. About 3/4 of it's covered. And that seems to work way better. As you're boiling, you'll end up getting some foam on the top, and you can just scoop that off and flick it away. You don't need that. So when you see this white foam build on top, just get something to scrape it off. I like to use this. Scrape it out, and I usually just flick that off to the side somewhere. You can get all that out of there. I just poured the last of the sap into the wok, and I got it almost to the rim. I may as well make one last mistake while I'm boiling. And I'm gonna let this go, and when it gets real low, I'll add it to the other pot and finish it off. Check it out, freezing rain, great. This is what I want. More rain in the pot. Pretty big, actually. Look at these things. Okay, the first batch from yesterday is now gonna get boiling and hopefully get to near finishing. You can see that how dark it is. Gonna be using the Instant Pot outside on saute for 30 minutes, and I'll see how that goes. I've almost boiled all the sap off. I've got what's in here plus what's in here left. And then I'll add all this to the pot in the Instant Pot to finish it all as one batch. It is not as fast doing it this way as it is on a fire, so if you have the fire option, I would definitely go for that. This option is nicer because I've been able to go inside and sort of let it go all day without having to feed it. But the fire is a better option for speed, for sure. Getting close to being done. I think I'll turn off the propane and add this to the other batch. Alright, let's see how dark it is. Pretty good. I'm gonna leave a little bit behind and see some floaties. Leave the floaties there as much as I can. Alright, that's good. Dirt in there. So, alright, so that's all I've got left to finish in here. I'm gonna run it through a couple more cycles through the Instant Pot and then I'll finish inside. Okay, so here's what I've got left to finish up with that color. It smells great. Oh, I don't want to lose any. There's a lot of stuff on the bottom. Every time you transfer it, you can kind of get rid of that junk that's in there. But that's what I've got left to work with now. I'm back to what I started with yesterday. Alright, so now I'm inside finishing up. I used the Instant Pot outside to boil off a little more so I didn't have quite so much inside. And so now I've got the rest in this pot. I've got a candy thermometer. And when the temperature of this liquid reaches 219 degrees Fahrenheit, that is when it is complete. I'm hoping to have around 2 liters of syrup to fill these jars. I've actually got 500 milliliter jars. Anyway, so I guess the next clip will be getting in the jars and finishing it up. When you're getting to the end, you've got to really watch that temperature. You do not want to overboil after all the work you've put into making this. And it looks like the temperature's sitting at around 215 still, so nearly there. Finally, at the last phase, I've got my jars and my cheesecloth. And I'm going to start pouring it in. And I'm hoping to have at least 2 liters. I'll find out here. Alright, my favorite part. Finished maple syrup. Do this and fill them up and find out if I was right with my ratios. You can see there's a little bit of stuff in there. All right, check out how much I got in the end. The jars aren't completely filled, so I probably got just over 2 liters, which is fantastic. Hope that video helped you to learn how to do this, and good luck in your maple syruping.